What's up, Gridbook Nation? This is Mark Perrett with Gridbook Percussion, and today we are talking about a topic that I think a lot of us really need to hear. A lot of us really need to hear this right now, and that is get rid of the need for instant gratification. I gotta say it again. Man. Get rid of the need for instant gratification. This is a huge one. Sometimes you hit a roadblock in your progress and it can be really hard to get through. I know I've hit periods in my life where I feel that no matter how hard I try, I just don't get any better. And it can feel hopeless at times, and feeling like you have no control over your own progress can bring a serious lack of motivation into your life. But I have some good news for you. You are getting better. You just can't see it. What I've found is that the roadblock isn't actually a roadblock at all. It's my own impatience to succeed. I want to be better, and I want to be better now. But it doesn't work like that. Greatness is something that takes time, and more importantly, focused time. It doesn't matter if you've been doing something for 10 years if it hasn't been focused or specialized towards a specific goal. If you're a musician and have been playing since I was 5, you haven't actually specialized in what you're doing. Even someone who cuts down countless trees is not the best at building houses. So if you're upset that you're not where you should be after all this work that you've put in, remember that the timeline of greatness is often measured in years, not months, weeks, or days. Years. And if you're constantly checking to see if your goal has been reached every day, you're going to be really disappointed. This is like the kids in the back seat of the car on the road trip. Are we there yet? On that 14-hour drive. Are we there yet? The answer is always no, until it is yes. So you have to stop asking if you're there yet and start asking, what did I do today to make progress, and enjoy it? Now, you might be asking yourself, but how can I shake this feeling that I'm not getting better? It's just really hard to put in all this work and not see results. To get through this, you have to get rid of the need for instant gratification. Understand that it takes time for things to blossom. Don't get discouraged if you hit a plateau, because it's probably less of a plateau and more of a really long incline. Many of us try to create final results right away without doing the proper amount of practice, following the right process, or having habits that even align with our goals. We complain that the goal is not being reached, but neglect that our process doesn't match our proposed outcome. And even if you are doing the right process, you feel like it should be getting you faster results. Something that can really get in the way is when you have a big sense of urgency without a big sense of perspective and patience. A sense of urgency is great to get the blood pumping and the body moving, but it can also give you unrealistic expectations. You have to have a sense of urgency to stay motivated, but couple that with a huge amount of patience and gratitude for the opportunity to even get better. Otherwise, you will be crippled by your own expectations. That's why you should have high standards and low expectations. This will allow you to work towards the biggest dreams you can imagine, but not get upset when you don't reach those dreams quickly. Now you might be saying to yourself, but I keep seeing other people doing better than me and moving faster than I am. What is wrong with me? If you think that all the people in the world have the same experiences, the same resources, the same advantages, disadvantages, the same perspective, the same work ethic, and the same talent level, you are in for a lot of disappointment. You are the only person in the world with your very unique experience. So you can't compare yourself to others because nobody is living the exact same life as you are. Instead, if you feel like other people are doing better than you, see that as motivation that you can achieve the same great thing as well. But don't expect your journey to match theirs because you're not working with the same tools to solve the same problems. Now, you might be saying to yourself, okay, I get that. I shouldn't compare myself to others. But even just comparing myself to myself, I keep failing and it's frustrating. That's why you have to be able to go from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. If you get upset every time you fail, you are going to be upset all of the time because failure is a big part of the process. The people you idolize have failed more times than you have even tried, but they kept going where others have quit, and that is why you even know about them. The fact that you even have the opportunity to idolize those people is because they didn't quit when things got hard. And if you keep going, eventually you will become the person other people idolize, and they will wish that they had the talent that you had. And they will have no idea about this moment in your life. They'll have no idea about the amount of work you put in, the roadblocks you hit, the adversity that you had to overcome to get where you are. They will only see the end result and think, why not me? I wish I was there. I wish I had that talent. Why not me? They don't know. They have no idea. And guess what? They is you now in this moment. So, how do we take action? Now that we've established the mindset, how do we take action to make sure that you're not in the same rut a week from now? So, I'd like to give you a few actionable, process-driven things that you can do right now to get out of your funk. All right? So, first thing, this is very simple, and I say this all the time. I'm pretty sure I say this every single day of my life. Keep going. It's so simple. Keep going. You don't stop running the race when you get tired. You don't stop running the race when you feel like the finish line isn't getting any closer. You don't stop. You keep going until you reach the finish line. If you're on the track, you got to trust that the finish line is there. And know that in the race towards your goals, there are many finish lines. And some races you won't do as well as you wanted to, and others you will do way better than expected. But the number one way to ensure that you won't make any progress is to stop running. So don't quit. Keep going. All right, number 2. Find fun in the process. You gotta find fun in the process. If you can't find ways to have fun while you're working hard, you are in for a miserable life. Because, come on, doing work is a part of life, right? It doesn't matter what field you're in, you have to work hard at it if you want to be great at it. You could literally quit what you're doing right now and start something new with new goals, and on a long enough timeline, you will run into this same problem again. Nobody is safe from feeling like they're not getting better anymore. Even for people who love what they do. Work is work, and hitting roadblocks on your timeline is inevitable. That's why your perspective in the moment is so important. Your ability to make the work fun is what will make the difference between a bad experience, a good experience, or a great experience. The more fun you can make the process, while obviously staying on track towards your goals, the easier it will be to do the work. So make it fun. Number 3, hibernate, right? Take a break. Sometimes you just need to get away for a bit. Your mind, the mind is such an important part of your productivity. So when it's filled to the max with so many moving parts you can't function, it's time to slow down, decompress, reorganize, and start again with a strong, clear idea of what you're doing. And this could take days, weeks, or even months to do to fully clear your head. Just know that when you hibernate, you stop moving, and this will slow down your production time. But sometimes that clear headspace allows you to be way more productive in the future than pushing through with a bad mindset now with low productivity levels. And number 4, know when to quit or know when to switch up your process. But Mark, wait, didn't you say don't quit? Yes. Do not quit if you want to accomplish a very specific goal. You can't quit because the only way to achieve that goal is if you work towards it. But evaluating whether that goal is even what you want anymore is an important part of the process as well. That's why it's so important to really understand and know and constantly look at your why. Why are you working so hard towards this goal? What is the goal? What is the why? Why are you doing this? And when you really know what your why is, you need to make sure that that is written down. Make sure that you're looking at it every day. Put a poster on the wall to see before you walk out of your room every morning. What is your why? And make sure that that is always in your presence. But if you find yourself no longer in love with what you're doing, it might be time to find something else. For some, this is impossible, as the goal is far more valuable than the work it takes to accomplish it. For others, quitting and moving energy to something else is liberating and the right thing to do. And for some, quitting and moving on to something else is the wrong move to make, and you end up regretting the time that you lost trying to move on to something else. But sometimes leaving and coming back gives you a new sense of respect and gratitude for the process of achieving that goal. And who knows, maybe quitting and cutting off this goal completely and trying something else, realizing you made a mistake and coming back, like maybe that whole process is the thing that you really needed to get yourself back on track. Now, what if you don't know which route to choose? Like, Mark, what route do I choose? I don't know. Like, there's so many options. How do I know what the right thing to do is? And my answer to that is, if you don't have a clear vision of what you want to do or what's best for you, literally do anything. Do anything. Pick something and go all in. Then, if it doesn't work, pick something else and go all in on that. And in the act of doing, you'll be able to dial in your process and find your groove. So some final thoughts on this. You have to have self-awareness and know that being great at anything takes time, right? It's really funny. We're caught in our little world over here, but there are people who are football players, there are basketball players, there's ice skaters. This just like everybody on all platforms are having the same issues. Like, this is nothing new or unique. Like, everybody is going through this type of thing, and you just have to have that self-awareness and know that to be great at anything, it takes time, and it takes way more time than you expect. Like, way more time. The perspective. The perspective that I have at this point in my life, I just wish that I had that perspective back when I was a teenager, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, or, when I was practicing and I really sucked, and it just like, it was not fun. Just, I wish I could play all this stuff, but I can't. This really sucks. Like, I really know how it feels to be upset. I know how it feels to hit a plateau. And not on some like weird, random, arbitrary thing. Like, literally being a drummer, trying to play the thing and not being able to play it, going and getting cut at auditions, not being great, knowing what greatness was, but physically not being able to achieve it, and just feeling like all this practice that I'm doing, and I'm recording myself, and I'm following what my instructors are saying, and I'm doing the work, I'm doing the thing. and I'm still not achieving the goal. Like, what is happening? Like, I get it. I get what that is. And so I think that at a certain point, you are just really confused about what's happening. And so when you first start something, it's obvious, you know, I'm not supposed to be good at this. I literally just started yesterday. But if you've been playing and practicing for a year or 2 years, or, you know, since I was 5, you have to know that along the process, during this whole time period, it's going to take way more time than you expect. You're not always going to make the right decisions. You are not going to reach the pinnacle of your goals for a very long time. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be 100% in love with what you're doing all the time. And understand that running into these roadblocks is just part of being on the road. Like, it happens to me now, but at least now I have this perspective. Like, I'm doing stuff and I'm working really hard and I have this vision and I want this stuff to happen in a certain way, and then it doesn't happen. Or, you know, something gets in the way, or I run into some type of adversity. And I used to get really upset about that. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening. Like, oh God. And now I run into stuff, something happens, I'm like, of course. Like, this is what happens. Of course this is happening. And I'm no longer surprised when I'm not getting better. I'm no longer surprised when something gets in the way. I'm no longer surprised when the plan that I thought was going to happen falls through or it doesn't happen. Like, I'm just not surprised anymore, because that is part of the process. The roadblocks are part of being on the road. If you're on the road long enough, you're going to run into a roadblock. So how you're feeling right now, it's supposed to happen. And I guess that's something that you can rest assured with. You know, you gotta do the work. You gotta have a great mindset, but just know that, like, how you're feeling right now, that's okay. And you're supposed to be running into these roadblocks. The people you idolize, they ran into them too. Like, nobody is safe. So get rid of the need for instant gratification. Keep testing, keep learning, and keep going. You got this. This is Mark Perrett with Gridbook Percussion, signing out. Love you guys. Peace.